Hey everybody, my name is Vinny. You may remember me from my first explanation video of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Well, now we're here for number 2, Time. Just like its predecessor, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 2 is a critique on children's media and pretty much just picks up from where the first one left off. So I advise you to go watch the first one and my explanation video to go along with that. The links to those videos are in the description down below. This one, not as creepy as the first one, but I still loved it. And what I really liked was the references to the first Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Like the hidden notepad on the bedside table, and the clown painting that was destroyed by the notepad in the first one. I largely interpret this video as a critique on the media and society, basically telling us, constantly reminding us of how short our lives are, and what we need to buy to make our lives better. The video is a little longer than the first one, so this time around I'm just going to show you a few clips and give you my interpretation. All the clips and images that I use are the property of their respective owners. I'm only using them for analysis / review or critique purposes. Links to the original videos and the creator's website are in the description down below. Warning! This video contains my opinion and I don't expect everybody to agree with me, so please let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Without further ado, let's go!
Oh. What's the time? It's 9:15. Time to have a bath.
What do you mean? We're already clean.
Scrub, scrub, scrub till the water's brown.
In this scene, the puppets are forced to have a bath because it's what the clock wants. The clock tells them it's time to have a bath, so they have a bath. It's what he says it's time for. Basically, he's imposing a structure, or a routine if you will, that forces you to do a certain thing at a certain time, which negates creativity and being impulsive. When one of the puppets insists that they're already clean, the clock just keeps on scrubbing until the water goes brown.
Time can be told by the moon or the sun, but time flies fast when you're having fun. There's a time and a place for mucking around.
This right here, to me anyway, is the clock discrediting fun and stating that having fun is a waste of time. Time is too precious to be wasted on fun, and fun is something to be had only when the clock says so. Again, leading me back to the structured routine that is imposed by this clock.
Mystery.
An old man died.
But look, a computer. Everything's cool. It's the future. Time is now. The future are new. And look at all the wonderful things you can do with gadgets and gizmos and email addresses.
So this part really stood out to me. The clock dismisses the death of the old man as if it were nothing and instead draws attention to a computer and the future. The clock then shows the puppets all of the gizmos and gadgets that they need to do wonderful things. The clock is basically showing them things that they need to buy and represents a commercialized society. These things will make your life better. You have little time on this earth, so buy these things to make the most of your time. And then we see the yellow puppet's dad creepily watching porn. And yes, it's obviously porn, hence the title of the website, Looksite. I think this kind of shows that technology can be used in different ways, and not necessarily for decent purposes.
Look at the time!
Throughout the entire video, the clock is always saying, look at the time, demanding that they pay attention to time, especially when the puppets start talking about something other than the importance of time. Now, the clock wants them to recognize the importance of time, but they don't want them to go into detail about it and start a debate, which happens right here.
If we run out of time, then where does it go?
Is time even real? Does anyone know?
Maybe time's just a construct of human perception, an illusion created by...
The puppets aren't meant to question the existence of time according to the clock. They're only supposed to do and think as the clock thinks. So naturally, when the puppets start a friendly debate on the existence of time, the clock steps in. The puppets start to question the reality of time. Maybe time is just a figment of our imagination. Maybe time isn't real. Does anybody know? Well, that's all too creative for this clock. Basically, the puppets are thinking outside of the box, and the clock does not approve of this. We also see a swastika that is equal to MC squared, which may be a reference to the youth brainwashed by Hitler's propaganda, but I can't be sure. The diagram of the brain here, there is a section of the brain that is green, and as we all know, green is the color that is not creative and was frowned upon by the notepad in the first video. The green part of the brain on the diagram is the temporal lobe. The temporal lobe plays an important role in organizing sensory input, auditory perception, language and speech production, as well as memory association and formation. Basically, it's the part of your brain used for thinking. So, seeing this part of the brain represented in green is no coincidence. Next up, the clock shows the puppets the effects of time on their appearance. and things get a little weird from here on out. I'm not entirely sure how to interpret this part. Part of me thinks that it's just here for the shock factor, but another part of me thinks that there is something going on here. The ending is particularly puzzling. I think that what we just watched was in fact the Puppets TV show. A TV show that was conditioning them to think a certain way, in this case to think a certain way about time. That there isn't a lot of it, and you need gizmos and gadgets to make the most of it. Also, take a look at the room. Spot the difference? The portrait of the puppets has been replaced with a portrait of the future. Empty. Nothing. And there's an eyeball on the floor, right there. The same eyeball that fell out of one of the puppets when things got a little weird. What does this mean exactly? Well, I can't quite put my finger on it. The missing portrait may mean that they are in the future, now, whereas in the beginning of the video they are in the past. The eyeball could represent that the puppets have been influenced by the show that they just watched. Hence the eyeball is on the floor. I don't know, this is just me thinking out loud, I'm not sure. There are also a few other things that I've noticed that some of you more intelligent viewers might be able to figure out that I just don't really get. Like this syringe. This weird guy covered in slime that's completely out of place. The wanted sign. And the letter D on the yellow puppet and the letter R on his dad. One of the biggest mysteries of these videos is the 19th of June. This date is everywhere. It was in the original video and is everywhere in this one. But what does it mean? Well, I can't be sure, but I did a little research and I've narrowed down a few possibilities. The 19th of June could reference the Communications Act of 1934, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Juneteenth, which is a holiday in the United States that commemorates the announcement of the abolition of slavery in the US state of Texas in 1965, or it could be the first opening of a Nickelodeon movie theater. Whatever it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Thank you so much for watching my interpretation of Don't Hug Me I'm Scared 2. Big ups to Becky and Joe, the creators, for their work. Great video. Loved the first one, and the second one didn't disappoint. So if you agreed with me or enjoyed the video, then please leave me a thumbs up. It shows that you care. Subscribe for more videos. I do sketches and some gaming stuff, and just go to my channel if you want to see any of that stuff. That pretty much wraps it up. Again, links to the originals and other stuff in the description down below. I'm Vinny. Thank you, and come again.